Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, hey there, Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather at 6. So we'll have to re-rack that show between broadcasts here. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon on a beautiful day where we've actually had the sunshine. We're in Starkville. I'm going to be talking behind me there in Hilbin Hall to the meteorology students here at Mississippi State University in a minute. Meteorologist Gabe Maynard, one of those, and I do hear your microphone, by the way, just on behind the scenes there, Gabe, on what has been a beautiful day. But we have a threat, unfortunately, for more active weather ahead and could include a potential maybe for some severe thunderstorms as we look toward your Friday. I'd say not an impossibility to see those, but something that we are watching there. As you can see, severe weather risk for today has been solidly to the north of us up there into the Midwest, where there have been a number of tornado touchdowns. Our North Mississippi storm chasers up there monitoring some of those, and hope to get you some video on that a little later on this evening. Our severe weather risk for tomorrow, though, does shift down and does include locations here across North Mississippi, really all locations back out into Georgia and as far west as Arkansas involved under that at least limited level 1 severe weather threat. Our True Shield grouping look here at large hail risk. Again, not particularly high, but it's our most significant risk, so not impossible to maybe see some hailstones with this as we look toward tomorrow. More on that with our exclusive triple threat here in a few minutes. But the overall risks here as we assess them, we're level 1 on the confidence. And that's the thing to take away on this. I think it's not going to be a tornado threat. Probably not a flooding threat. And honestly, when we look at the wind and hail, not impossible, but even both of those, we have very low confidence in seeing impact from those. But the system has overperformed back in the Midwest. Part of the reason, of course, we're watching very closely. Sometimes when the atmosphere overperforms one place, it can do it again. And so maybe some isolated hailstones a possibility here. But as we check out our headlines this evening, again, we're going to look at that storm finder as well as our triple threat coming up here in a couple of minutes. As we mentioned, that threat tracker there. And rain chances are going to begin tonight. While we don't have much that looks particularly impressive out of those clouds at this point, we're going to have more of those that try to bring us some shower activity by the overnight hours and into tomorrow before a big drop in temperatures arrives as we go into this upcoming weekend. We'll time that out for you in a minute. So keeping that rain coverage, we'll say around 20% or so as we go into this evening and into the overnight hours, from 70 degrees at 10 p.m. down to 65 by 1 a.m. and looking like lower 50 by early tomorrow. Notice those winds. They are quite breezy, and that has exacerbated issues like this. Reports coming there from out in the Mark Whiteside there, North Mississippi storm chasers, passing this along here. Update, on a fire, grass fire out there, including some structures that were threatened. We checked in on this, and as of the latest update, the thinking is that this is probably, for the most part, under control, because we're using our camera there with North Mississippi storm chasers, kind of looking in a northerly direction. We don't see any smoke. And again, on our latest update, hopefully that's somewhat under control there. But a sign that, when you get windy and dry conditions like what you have and warm, that's a combination that can sometimes lead us to possibly see some fire issues. But as you can see, temperatures right now, not a lot of folks are going to complain about this, showing those in the mid 70s still as of the 6 o'clock time period there. We're 78 degrees there in Columbus. As you can see, Mississippi Live weather radar with Mama Justice Doppler showing up with only a couple of clouds. As we do show our front kind of back to the north and west there, moving toward us, this will initiate a few showers and thunderstorms as we head later on into tonight and into the overnight hours. Much, much wider shot here. Does show kind of all the players. That next front right on our doorstep. The one back toward the west coast, that one is interesting. That one could bring, again, some of those storm chances by late tomorrow. But I think what it really does is it takes some of that cold air out of Canada. We have kind of this reserve of cold air that's sitting just up there, up close to Calgary and Boise and Billings, just kind of sitting there. This is going to knock that loose and bring down the much cooler temperatures toward us as it does. And so the extended forecast has really a very substantial drop in temperatures on the way associated with that there. So as we kind of advance this and bring this in a little closer on our future cast here, Gabe, we're going to have to bring that back in a lot closer to show that tonight our rain chances are going to increase substantially as we go into the overnight time period. As you can see there, still fairly spotty, but we have a couple of rumbles potentially on that. Looking at the latest HRRR model there, stretching from near Memphis back up there into West Tennessee. Maybe again a couple of those some heavier showers, but you'll notice that the strongest of those were actually out there kind of on the east side of that, looking out there toward North Alabama and Georgia versus over top of us. So most indications on this, again, we're going to have some showers, but nothing overly heavy tonight. And honestly, when we look toward tomorrow, I'd say that same story holds true. As you can see on the hour-by-hour forecast over the next 24, we're 51 in the morning, 66 by noon, and low 70s by tomorrow afternoon. Winds will be calmer. Air will be drier. And we're going to have to wait for some moisture return. I think it's one of the components when we look at the different ingredients for storms and potentially maybe even a couple stronger storms on your Friday. They are not all perfectly lined up by any stretch of the imagination. Coming up in 60 seconds, we, of course, talking about why we're down here in Starkville. We'll be looking ahead at Storm Finder, where it's placing those greatest rain chances as we look at your complete forecast as Mississippi Live Weather continues here from the Mobile Room to Room Weather Center from down on the campus of Mississippi State University. Again, thank you so much for supporting us. We'll be back in 60.
Game day brings its ups and downs. Celebration and disappointment. Anxiety and relief. Friends and enemies. You can always argue over who should have won, but everyone can agree on great food. Appetizers, entrees, drinks, party platters, or even the taste of sweet victory. There's something for every season at Eat With Us restaurants.
Save today at Room to Room's President's Day sale. 55% off furniture and mattresses, 20% off accessories,
and 24-month special financing.
The time to act is now.
Room to Room Tupelo, where we know there's no place like your home.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
This portion of Mississippi Live Weather is presented by Little's Jewelers.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon.
Well, we're live just north of Hilbin Hall here on the Mississippi State University campus. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. Thank you so much for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather. The reason I'm down here in Starkville, and I'm going there to talk to the meteorology students, part of their AMS chapter coming up here in a few minutes. You might have noticed what we're doing here and the platform we're doing it on a little different than what a lot of folks do. And Mississippi State turns out more meteorologists than almost any other upper level program. What am I thinking of here? College, undergraduate program than any other around the country when you start talking about broadcast meteorologists. So the future of broadcast meteorology, which we're largely pioneering here, is highly important because more and more of them, as they get older, as they go into the work field, and start, getting jobs, well, they might be starting something like this. So they wanted to know kind of how we do it, what we're doing, some of the stuff related to that. So we're going to be talking to them about that as they work to plan their careers, whether it's here in North Mississippi, as the case of our Caleb Bellabloot, who will be in there, or if it's going to be around the country. It is a beautiful evening, though, 74 degrees. I believe we set a record out at Tupelo Regional Airport earlier on today. Feels like temperature 77. That means you can argue for a heat index. Not a good argument, but feels like a little boost there. The winds have been breezy today. Again, we did have that fire out there in Union County. Our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, of course, breaking down everything related to the storm chances. And Gabe, with the dew point is already upper 50s, I think instability and fuel is going to be one of those limiting factors, right?
Exactly, Matt. And that's what we're going to be getting into here real quick, is talking about some of those ingredients. And so if we look right here on our storm finder, as we track this out, we're starting Thursday evening, working our way into our Friday. And of course, Thursday night, we know that there are the chance at a few showers and storms, but overall not really impressed with this setup. Just not a lot of instability. It is a warm atmosphere, but dew points going to be in the upper 50s overnight. Not exactly the setup that we need for storms to take place. So that's a good thing. We don't want the ingredients for storms to happen. And that carries over to our Friday as well. You might notice that Friday morning, well, a little bit of showers we do have, not overly impressed on those, but working our way into our Friday night. So more activity starting to work its way up there towards the Tennessee state line, even a few down around the Golden Triangle where Matt is currently. And as he's continued to progress through North Mississippi, the potential for one of these tapping into the unstable environment, maybe producing a few small hailstones. It's not impossible, but you can see it on here. It's just not a ton of lift in the atmosphere, allowing for these storms to take place. And of course, that does carry over into our extended forecast as well. So the good thing that I was looking at behind the scenes is there's really no chance of severe weather beyond what we're expecting on our Friday. And even Friday's threat, very limited. That level 1 threat still in place primarily for our Friday night into our Saturday morning. And the damaging wind risk, not really there. The tornado risk, we're not expecting any tornadoes with this setup. Where we're getting the potential severe weather comes with those large hailstones. And even those, not overly sold, just because it doesn't have a ton of lift. And we know those hailstones, in order to get bigger, they have to work their way through the updrafts in the upper atmosphere. And so for that to take place, we need a good bit of lift. And what we don't have a ton of is lift in this setup. So of course the chances are there, but not overly impressed with how things are looking right now. But we're continuing to watch this just in case that limited amount of instability does tap in with one of these storms and produce that. Temperatures across the region, I don't need to tell you it's warm. If you went outside today, you felt that warm air with mid to upper 70s still in place as that sun is setting. Wrap your mind around that. Yes, spring trying to make its presence felt, but we are still in winter, and we'll definitely feel that towards early parts of next week. Dew points, like we mentioned, they're low 60s to mid 60s across North Mississippi. A few areas still in the upper 50s, but even that will start to push out of the area overnight due to that cold front that's moving across the area into those overnight hours. Your day planner stays limited with those rain chances, and as that line moves on through, that line being the cold front, that's where we'll get scattered chances of showers. Rumble of thunder, not impossible, but not really expecting anything too significant overnight and into our Friday morning. As you look at futurecast following that same trend, you look at this cold front. As it moves on through that limited amount of isolated development out ahead of this system, that's where we get the initial round of maybe a couple of showers. But then you get that main cold front surging in right across northwest Mississippi by 10 o'clock. By midnight, going to be right along that Natchez Trace area. And then by 2 a.m., extending across the Golden Triangle. Now, what we have after this front moves through is actually an interesting setup because we get that warm front lifting more towards the north as that next system rolls into town. So low temperatures, they are going to be more on the mild side, a little bit of a step back from what we had today. 45 Senatobia, Holly Springs, 48 New Albany, 50 in Houston, 54 towards that Golden Triangle area with 57 showing up towards Aliceville. As we take a look at that school day forecast, drop-off's going to be mild, like we mentioned, 51 degrees. By that final bell, though, 70 degrees. That's going to be another toasty forecast. So again, spring is trying to stick around as long as it can before winter drives it out. But as you look at those rain chances, that's what's allowing some of that milder air to stick around as well, with rain chances overnight tonight and even some of those rain chances extending into our Saturday morning. We'll get a better look at that on our Friday. If I expand things out here real quick, you can get a look at our next frontal system that's moving into North Mississippi. And we're going to have to go on a wide scale for this. That all the way out into Denver, Colorado, and that will gradually work its way towards the east. As it does so, we do get some of that warm front interacting with Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and allowing for that moisture to, again, surge back towards the north. So while this cold front drives out some of that moist air, the warm front will bring it right back for our Friday, potentially bringing some of that unstable air back with it. Let's bring it back in here to our home view, and we're going to bring it right back into North Mississippi. Expand it out just a little bit because I do want to see what's happening in the atmosphere, allowing for some of that unstable air to lift up here towards North Mississippi. So by 3, 4, and 5 o'clock, you can see how that warm front basically stalls out right there towards Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. That's where it starts to move a little bit more in that northeast direction, allowing for some of these showers that are in the area to maybe getting a little bit of lift. Again, there are still some questions with this setup, and we're not overly impressed by it. It's not impossible, but it's not exactly those widespread severe weather chances like we typically get with some of those marginal, slight, or even enhanced risk. Again, it's just a marginal for tomorrow, that level 1 risk, but We're not expecting a lot of reports out of this setup. High temperatures, 70 degrees Tupelo, 71 Grenada, Houston, 72 Eupora and Starkville. We are in the mid-60s Clarksdale, Cleveland, and low 60s for Tunica and South Haven. So that means that unstable air really limited the further west we go. We do have our high school game of the week. That's going to be in Wheeler as Oklahoma comes into town. It's going to be playoff matchups. So if you are heading out to the game, make sure to have that rain gear ready as scattered chances do move across North Mississippi. Whether they're severe, whether they're strong, that's still a question, but are they going to be there? Yes, and scattered in nature throughout our Friday night. There you're getting a few looks at those reds that are popping up. That's where it's that little bit of lift that it's going to try and interact with and potentially produce a few rumbles of thunder as well. Maybe even a few small hailstones, not impossible. Marshall, Benton, and up there towards Tennessee. Now, as this warm front lifts more towards the north and this low pressure center moves right over North Mississippi, you can see how some of these cells that are back behind it get a little bit more of that lift. This is going to be that brief amount of unstable air. It's going to be very brief. It's not going to last long because once that cold front moves in, drives out all of that moist air. But we do see a corridor right here, Golden Triangle area, where we could potentially get a few strong storms is almost a term I don't want to use, but I'm just going to say storms with this setup. Again, not impressed by it, but again, not impossible. Low temperatures on your Saturday, still mild as we do see those that moisture stick around. We're 47 in Booneville, 50 in Houston, 49 in Clarksdale, 50 in Grenada, 54 at Kosciuszko and Louisville. As we keep that future cast moving throughout our Saturday, I do apologize. Still dealing with remnants of the flu this week. I saw a few folks saying, Gabe, welcome back. Feels good to be back, but not exactly 100%, but we are closer than what we were yesterday. Looking at Futurecast on your Saturday morning, still seeing a little bit of that development there towards Knoxville and Pickens County. Moving out as we do have that drier air moving overhead. That's going to continue to build into our Saturday afternoon. As all of this moisture clears across the state line, we're in for a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Going to be perfect for baseball, which we'll look at here in just a moment, but also going to be good for any of those Saturday plans that we may have. So that carries over to our Saturday night and our Sunday morning. So it's going to be a good looking forecast for any of those weekend plans we may have once we get beyond that Saturday morning. Ooh, I apologize. Man, I'm dying. As we look at high temperatures on your Saturday, it is 69 degrees in Bruce, 59 in Tunica and South Haven, 70 degrees Golden Triangle, and 71 there towards Aliceville. Forecasted rainfall going to be closer to 1/4 of an inch, all the way up to 1/2 of an inch in some spots. And I'm going to get a drink of water right after this. So I apologize. I am dying. Okay, we'll see you guys right after the break.
It's Friday night y estamos activos. Head out early. Drinks flowing till 11.
No sé qué pasó. I didn't even drink that much.
Can I ask a few questions?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog, but she's little.
Do you have any unlocked guns around the house?
We do have a gun, but it's stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access. Appreciate you asking.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Well, back here live in Starkville, ahead of, or just, I guess, outside of Hillman Hall. And the only thing I'm ahead of is, in fact, I'll be speaking here to the meteorology students down at Mississippi State here in a moment. And again, Gabe will have some more updates and a few other things in a second, but I want to actually go in here and thank you. Appreciate that. Always love to test and see if the Wi-Fi is going to hold up, or not Wi-Fi, I guess this would be the overall data here. Oh, come on in. Got to show you our Caleb Edelblue in his natural habitat here. Having survived the dynamics test earlier this week. He did. He didn't say whether or not he thrived at it, but he survived it. Doing all right?
I survived. And I did the mesoscale test this morning, so the week is almost over.
So your survival a little different than Gabe's, trying not to, be a coughing mess down there.
Trying to avoid that. Best I can. Best I can.
Okay, well, thank you so much for inviting me. It looks like almost everyone's, getting close to here. But yeah, I guess I'll show everyone off here for a moment. here in 102 Hillbin as the meteorology students of all different grade levels. Is it all levels here?
Yes, all levels. So anyone that's a part of the chapter, they're going to be here tonight.
Okay, well, I'll try to make sure I say something that's actually interesting. Anything you want to tell folks at home?
I hope y'all are having a good one. We got those cooler temps on the way, so...
Are you ready for that?
I'm not.
I mean, notice he has the Gabe Maynard shorts on here because
I like this weather.
We did set a record high today, so that's allowable.
Exactly. And we were talking about it last weekend, so glad to see it verified.
Yeah, absolutely. See, that education's working out well.
Doing its best, doing its best.
Okay, send it back to you in the studio, Gabe.
Well, I don't know what's better, guys, seeing you two out there at Mississippi State or getting a drink of water, both on the same playing field in this setup. But yes, for anyone that is wondering, I am coming off of the flu. So if I do have a coughing attack like that, I will send you guys to break as soon as possible and go get it handled. So thank you for allowing me back in the studio here in the Room to Room Weather Center, but I do apologize for that. Just getting off of what has been a busy week in the Maynard household. Looking at Triple Threat, exclusive Mississippi Live product right here. What it basically covers is rotation, it covers wind damage or wind potential, and large hail potential. And as you take a look right here, expanding things out, we have a lot of that up there towards our north into Illinois and Indiana. If you look at some of these helicity tracks or those rotation tracks, I mean, there's no reason why there should not be a severe weather risk, and that's why they do have that level 3 threat in place for today and have already seen numerous tornado reports, one of which is currently going on there towards Bloomington, so saying a prayer for the campus of Indiana. But we are watching up there for today, but we're watching further down south for tomorrow. Not because of that cold front that's moving through overnight, primarily going to be for your Friday night. Just allowing us to zoom back in here to North Mississippi. Let's go ahead and track this out. And as you can see on your Friday morning hours, a lot of that moisture remaining further towards our south as that cold front has driven it out. And we are watching for how quickly that unstable air can move further towards the north. So showers not impossible, even a few moderate showers can be expected. But as we get into those overnight hours, you can see how we do have, yes, a few of those potential storms popping up. Now, I'm going to bring it back in here and move it into your Saturday morning hours. And as we take a look right here, I mean, just faint marks where you could see some of that lift in the atmosphere, allowing for some of these storms to take place. Now, this is all the way out there towards Birmingham, Alabama. But potentially in Pickens and Lamar County, if this were to move through at the right time with the right amount of unstable air, then it's not going to be shocking at all if we get a few of those small hailstones reported in Vernon, in Reform, in Carrollton, in Gordo. So we're not ruling it out, but definitely possible as we get into that morning forecast. And even folks in Soligen, I know a few in the chat right now that are watching, it's not impossible to get some of that hail. Now, some of those tracks, oh, it's happening again. Got you guys. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and cancel that out. Oh man, we're going to be probably limited at 6 o'clock. Okay, so all in all to say, it's not impossible that we get a few small hailstones, but I do expect that we are going to be on the lower end of the spectrum, so not going to be worried about this threat, but of course monitoring that into those overnight hours. Now coming up tonight at 10, we're going to have a whole look at that baseball forecast after I get a whole lot of water in my system. And we'll see you guys back here. Say hey to Matt, say hey to Caleb down in the chat. They are going to be talking there at Mississippi State. Very jealous, as I am a former Bulldog myself, so I do hope that they have a great time and excited that Matt gets to talk to them a little bit more about what we do here at Mississippi Live Weather. All right, you guys have a fantastic night. If you have not done so already, make sure to download that free Mississippi Live Weather app, or you can, of course, tune in on our socials as well. Our next broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. I appreciate everyone giving me some advice in the chat of how to keep my voice and how to keep those coughing fits away. I will work to do all of those before the 10 o'clock broadcast. But again, I am excited to be back here in the Room to Room Weather Center with you guys and just getting back to a little bit of normalcy here this week. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock. And yes, bring your water. We'll see you there.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious when he began to discover weather. Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.